Hey guys, Monica here for the Monica Brant Show, still here in Houston at the American Fit Expo, and I am here with a celebrity professional wrestler.
Wow.
Woo! Brian Cage. Brian, I am so excited to meet you.
Wow.
I mean, it's not every day you get to meet like world famous professional wrestlers.
You know, I was just gonna soak it up for a minute. You know, I was over there talking to CT Fletcher earlier, and he literally introduced me to somebody he knew as the best wrestler in the world right now. I'm like, I'm gonna have to tweet that. So, but
hashtag best wrestler in the world.
I don't think we even need to do an interview. I think you could just keep putting me over, and I'll just sit here and I'll just take it. But yeah, no.
Oh my gosh,
wonderful meeting you as well.
Thank you, thank you. So tell me about your start in wrestling. Isn't it? I'm sure it goes way back. Were you like?
Yeah, I started yesterday.
Yesterday, so.
Yeah, well, I was 6 years old. I was actually 5 years old when I first ever saw wrestling.
Really?
But I was 10 years old when I decided, you know what, this is all I want to do with my life. And
10 years old, and you.
That's it.
This is what I want to do.
Checked off the list. That's it. This is it.
Who were you watching?
So at that point, my top two was Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels. And Shawn Michaels, his boyhood dream started at the age of 12. I was like, I got to beat by 2 years. So, you know, I'm 10. So I'm ready to rock and roll. Everyone's like, oh, whatever, you'll grow out of that, you know, whatever. Junior high comes around, I still want to be a wrestler. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that'll change. High school comes around, what do you want to do? Like, oh, I'm gonna be I'm gonna be a pro wrestler.
Gotta be. I like that you put it out there.
My PE teacher and sophomore year, Mr. Tallarico, one of my favorite teachers too. He knew I was a big wrestling fan. He was a wrestling fan too. And he even asked me, he goes, like, oh, when do you think you'll make it, huh? And I go, by the time I'm 24, I'll be signed to WWE. And he goes, oh, not sooner? I go, I mean, I feel like that's a pretty good expectation to say that. And then when I was 24, signed to WWE. So, bucket list checked off. Did I go under main event WrestleMania? No, I did not. But to be able to say that when I was 16 and then make that happen and come true, I thought it was pretty incredible.
That is pretty incredible, for sure. I mean, and then just to know that your dream, not everyone has to go to this next level, right? Because there's always some other really cool things that come from hitting those goals. And then what's the next, you know? So you went from WWE and now you're with the
I'm now with AEW. Yes. So, yeah, as you said too, like, you can't go from A to Z. Everybody wants to. Like, oh, I'm starting right here and I want to get right here. Like, how do I just jump? You know, you can't. There's a line and a way to get there. And it's all... There's good experiences, there's bad experiences, they're all learning experiences, which helps develop you to the overall professional and personal person you become. And sure, would I have liked a lot less struggles and maybe more of a direct route? We all would. But at this point, no, not to say as cliche as it may sound, I don't know if that would change a whole lot. And I'm glad, you know, it's happened the way it's happened. That was the way it's meant to happen. But yes, I was with WWE, I've been with Lucha Underground, Impact Wrestling, AAA, all over the place. I've traveled the world, and right now, I am signed, and I've been signed with AEW for several years. That's on TNT and TBS on Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday nights. Actually, I mean, I don't know when this airs, but like what we're doing. But I mean, 2 places at one time. I'm time cop, because in 3 hours, technically I think 2 actually here. I'm on TV right now on TNT, so look at that, bam!
Wow.
Double duty right now. But
That's awesome.
Yeah, I've been in AEW. I love it there. Yeah, I've been able to live my dream. For a long time now.
Your dream. What are you, 25 now?
No, come on. I'm a little older than that. I'm actually 40, and I have no. People are always so like ashamed about their age. Not shame. That's a bad word to say. But like feel like embarrassed with their age. I'm happy to say, because I'm like, especially when I was a kid.
Well, then you're still doing what you want
to do. At the same top tier level that I was when I was 25, actually made me feel better. But I'm like, when I was a kid too, especially on sitcoms, people who were like 40 were painted, didn't look like me. I feel like I look freaking young in the face, youthful, still have a great body, and I'm just a white guy. And I say that because my wife looks phenomenal. She's 40 as well. She's phenomenal, but she's Nicaraguan. And she was like, you know, you're going to age faster than me because you're just a white guy. And I'm like, all right, Latina genes. I get it. But still, no, I feel stoked that I'm in great of health and flexibility, functional, everything for my age, and that's the goal now too. I would love to do this for another 10 years at a high level. So that's the plan.
What, and maybe this goes without saying, but what is the most challenging part about being a professional wrestler at the level you're at and maintaining the status, the time commitment, the training? Obviously, you're married, and I think you have children.
Yep, 3.
So it's like, how do you, like, what's the hardest part of what you do now?
Just to correct you, I meant 3 kids, not 3 wives. But you know,
I look forward to meeting your wife too.
Oh yes, she would love to meet you. It's been such a long road now that I'm so used to it. Where I don't know if there's like one, like absolute worst part of my job is traveling.
Right.
The traveling.
Being in hotels.
Not even the hotel. The flights. Yes. Like, to put it, I absolutely love wrestling. I love what I do. Realistically, I would do what I do for free, but I get paid for the inconvenience of having to go on a damn flight every damn week. That's really what it is.
It's good.
But I mean, yeah, obviously there's tons of hardships though. As far as you're on the road, you're gone all the time. You know, I've missed, especially when I was up and coming. I have 3 kids, 18, 6 years old, and we got a new guy, 8 months old.
Wow.
But especially for my oldest son, I missed so many events, so many stuff, so many friends' weddings, so many functions. Never a Christmas though, because I'm the biggest diehard Christmas fan. But yeah, you're gone a lot. Obviously, the use and abuse of your body in the ring. And everyone goes, I don't know how you train and stay on point with your diet. And actually, for me, it's almost easier when I'm on the road, because as soon as I head to the airport, I'm clocked in.
Yeah.
So until I get home, I don't clock out. So I feel like I'm more regimented and more like disciplined to say no.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
If I'm just at home doing nothing, that's where I'm more likely to slack off.
Now you're ever doing nothing though.
I mean, it's usually not nothing, but
stretching or something. It's body work.
And that's what I want to do, right? But time begets laziness, and then if there's no sense of urgency, you tend to go, I don't have to go right now, or maybe you're just lounge around the house, which is more limited, especially I got kids, so there's always snacks and goodies in my house. I'm like, well, let's go look and get in that pantry and see what we got. You know, you're more tempted to kind of stray a little bit off course. But I mean, they always say, you know, if you love what you do, never work a day in your life.
Right.
Through all the struggles, it's all been worth it to live my dream and to, like, you know, be an example too for my kids. Like, hey, you can do it. You know, if you anything, if you put your mind to it. And there's a lot of people that thought that I wouldn't be a wrestler too. Not to even say they were saying anything maliciously, but it's also because I know everyone has a dream, whether it's, you know, something through education, through sports, through entertainment, whatever it is. Everyone has a dream or desire of something they want to do, and I feel like there's a bigger fear of failing that keeps people from trying to do what they want to do.
So true.
And
yes.
And the only way to really fail though is to never try. And I feel like a lot of people
kind of choked me up right there, because I'm walking through something right now that I feel, if I have integrity, I feel a little fearful of it, but I don't know. There's no reason to be fearful of it. But look at, I got a little teary-eyed, like just choked me up just a little bit talking about that, because it's so true, and we all deal with that in a different way, like in a different circumstance. There's something that it should be no fear, but there's just a little, it creeps in because of the failure, and you're like, what? That can't fail. Like, it's just, do it, and then there's no way to fail. There's no way.
So I was presented with an opportunity.
Failure is only going to lead you to more success.
Sure, exactly.
Keep trying.
And I said, like, even the hardships, it's a learning experience. But
hardship, yes.
I was presented with an opportunity. I was presented with an opportunity back in 2006 to go over to Atlanta to be not signed, but to get an opportunity to be working with a developmental program with WWE. And I had a really good paying job at the time. My son was only 6 months old. And I'd never left California. You know, I've traveled around California. I'd never left there. So it was going to be like a big move across to Atlanta, Georgia, big culture shock. Like, we'll leave my job behind. And there's a lot of unknown. And so it is scary. It's really scary. And then to be with my family and everything else. But what scared me more was not doing that and then wondering what if 10 years later, 20 years later, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I was like, listen, I want to go out there and I want to do this, and whatever comes from it, rather than never knowing. And even then, worst case scenario, my friend said this was really good. He goes, home's always one flight away.
Right.
You always just fly back and come home, you know, because something's not working out. So I'm like, all right, let's do it. And things weren't going exactly how I wanted. It's a long story there, but like, definitely put everything forward in motion to my success, and even to me getting signed at 24 to WWE. So like, I'm definitely glad I did it. So again, it's, you know, there's no great success without sacrifice and commitment. You know what I mean? Like, even if you're just going to college and, you know, to get a degree, obviously you still got to go to college, you have to spend the time there, you have to spend the money and the debt to make it happen. So like, there's always some sort of cost that you have to go in order to succeed. There's no way, not just a free handout where you're like, oh cool, you get to just be at whatever top level you want to be at. So
wow. So thanks for making me cry, Brian Cage. Just kidding.
So I do, you know, freaking breaking hearts, cashing checks.
So how do you feel about the athletic challenge of being a professional wrestler versus the entertainment value that you bring as well? Like, how do you balance that out? Is that natural for you, or do you guys have, and maybe this is a bad question, I don't know, but it's just what's coming to mind. Like, do you guys have kind of coach directors or somebody that's like, we need a little more personality here, so like, we need a little more like something here? Is it all what you want to portray yourself, your character, and who you are in the ring?
So there's so many different ways to answer that question.
It's a loaded question.
No, so like anywhere you have, you know, critique from other coaches or, you know, just experienced vets, if you will. You know, you get off stage, you're like, oh, how can I make my lat spread look better? You know, somebody will tell you. So same things with, oh, you could, you know, do this or do that or whatever. Now, obviously, they call it the world of wrestling, they call it sports entertainment. Because obviously it's very sports based. It's a lot more real than people think. Yes, we're working together to tell a story and a predetermined outcome. But as far as the physicality, the bumps, the moves, the emotion, the athleticism, everything else is very real. Yeah. And by the roar of the crowd and the feeling in my body, I can confirm that. But there's different ways to wrestle, like in different areas, different places of the world, and there's different genres that reach out to people. So for me, I've always been a real more sports-based performance in wrestling. So like in New Japan, that's a company in Japan, obviously. It's a very like strong style where everything is, we call it stucks, where you really lay everything really hard, and it's very sports and reality based. So there's not a whole lot of, there's still always like a character and charisma aspect to it, but it's not really like as showmanship as it is just freaking smash mouth wrestling. And I've always gotten more into that aspect because I just like, I love the gritty, realistic athletic performance. But obviously the showman and like the entertainment aspect is how you like break and transcend and reach global audiences everywhere. And there is definitely a happy medium that you need to have to be able to do both. And like, yeah, so like if someone's in-ring performance is lacking, like as far as like, you know, the overall athletic performance, yeah, you'll get critiqued on that. If you're doing great, but you're rushing stuff or you hit something cool and then there's no action or reaction to it from the crowd, then you kind of lose that moment that could have been so much more. So
be thinking of so many things out there, like how you're gonna handle the challenge at the moment. Yep. Right? Because everything you guys do out there is a challenge. And then you've got to be paying attention to what's going on out here and be able to, like you said, react to what's going on in a big way. It's a lot of energy.
It's a lot more improvisation than people realize too. Like everything says it's a big choreographed dancing, and it's not at all. A lot of times too, we don't even know what we're doing until like last minute, and we'll talk backstage and put together some spots.
We'll talk backstage and we'll
put together some spots, and then it's just action, reaction to the ring. You talk in the ring, you kind of, and again, that's why we're professionals. Yeah. Because you learn that art form to be able to do it. So like some people it doesn't make any sense. Like, well, yeah, it's because you're not there at that level to be able to do it. It's just like if everyone's a phenomenal instrument player and they all just start on the riff just playing together. Like if you have, I can't play an instrument, so it just makes sense to me how that works. But then it's no problem because they're that good. Yeah. Yes, exactly. It's kind of the same way to
flow with each other.
It's a pretty good way to compare it.
So I guess you probably have specific athletes that you probably really can work well together.
Sure, if you have really good chemistry with, yes.
And you're like, yeah, I get to work with you because you know what they're going to put in, I know what you're going to put in.
And there's the complete opposite too. Like, damn it, to wrestle that person's time. But again, so you're thinking of that, and you're also listening to the crowd, and you're going to like, you know, try to get your moment to showcase and all this and that. And then what makes it even more challenging is when you're on TV and live TV.
Oh boy,
you have a very strict time to limit. So you're trying to think of everything, but also you can't just willy-nilly do whatever you want and react. You have, okay, we got 3 minutes, we got a commercial break spot, then we got to come back, then we got 4 minutes, we got to be home, we got to be right on time. You don't want to waste any time on TV, and you don't want to miss like a wonder, because you want to take advantage of every second you get. But you absolutely do not want to go over it all either, because now you're taking away time from the company, from somebody else. So like, people don't realize that aspect too, where you're like, you're so flustered, we're like, maybe you want to take that moment to be more extra, but you're like, oh my God, I'm panicking because I only got 30 seconds left, you know what I mean? So there's a lot that's going through your mind all at once.
Goodness, I've got a whole lesson on professional wrestling. I love it. Familiar with Trish Stratus?
Of course I'm familiar with Trish Stratus. Oh my gosh.
So she and I grew up in, we did I did an interview with her. We talked for 3 hours straight, and we broke it up, so it wasn't 3 hours straight, but we had so much fun because she and I both came from the same era, and she came from, most strictly of the modeling aspect of the fitness thing, and I, of course, came in as the athlete model. But we worked together so many times, and we kind of grew at the same time, and we had a lot of similarities, even outside of, once she broke off to that wrestling piece, and we had so much fun catching up. So I see she, follows, and we follow each other and just kind of encourage one another. But it's like old school, and it's so fun to see what she's done, and some of the original stuff that she did for the women's side.
Oh, and she's phenomenal too, because that was when she was coming into a pretty hot time where they were bringing in a lot of girls, for lack of a better term, TNA, right?
Sure.
And that's what a lot of these girls were. It was just like, like to look at and be like sex symbols in that regard. And then they had a lot of outside athletes and everything else, but Trish Stratus became, I would probably say, probably the best ever in-ring performer that wasn't a wrestler.
When she told me about how she went to learn and worked her butt off to learn be that wrestler and learn the skill set.
I mean, the fact that you saw her at her, even when she came back down too, but like for little random appearances, but like, you forget that she was just, a quote-unquote model, not a wrestler. It looks like
she was a hot bikini model.
Oh, she was so hot.
Traveled the world with Muscle Man.
I'll tell you what, baby, I don't
went to appearances all the time.
I don't want to
super fun.
Say you're talking appropriately, but man, that diva in what is it, diva in Hinduism or whatever. Well, there's this diva VHS tape. This is how bad we're going. With her on the cover, she got this one photo thing about the video shoot with her in this hose, this white T-shirt. Goodness gracious. Woof. Good, you brought that memory back. I made you cry.
Now you're crying. Whole fitness stuff. Yeah, we got to work in I want to say it was Bahamas or Jamaica together. Muscle Mag owner took us, a group of us, maybe 5 of us girls that were all like the girls at the time, and it rained so hard that whole time we were there. I mean, he ended up putting a video together, a Muscle Mag video.
Yep.
But it was like in sparse, we barely got any photo shoot time. And I felt so bad for Robert because he spent so much money to get us all there, had this big idea, but it rained so bad. In fact, we were driving and the water at some parts was up to the door on the car.
Oh, wow.
And it was flooding.
That's a little sketchy there.
It was crazy, but it's some of the good old memories. And we would go to eat at the little restaurant, and they had what they called Johnny bread or Johnny cakes. And it would be like, you go to a Mexican food restaurant, they get the chips out there first, and you're like, I can't stop, I eat too many. Well, they would put that Johnny cake on the table, and all us girls would be looking at it, because it was like pound cake. It was so delicious. And I would take the Tabasco or something, and I would put it on it so that it would be so good. And I would help save everyone from wanting to eat the Johnny cake, because we can't be at a bikini shooting and eating Johnny cakes.
At first, when you first said that, I thought you were saying you put Tabasco on it, like, as if that made it taste better. No. I go, hold on. Yeah. And then I go, to stop everybody from eating that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Remember I've done these sort of like fitness, like kind of like commercial shoots, and like it's kind of like athletically based. Dude, I always laugh at that too. I'm like, the catering they provide is so amazingly delicious, but it's so not what you should be eating. I go, we're trying to film and shoot stuff, and this is what you guys are bringing us?
I'll bring my own food.
You got freaking custom serve yourself bazookies over here. Come on, man. Like,
I know. Speaking of food, I noticed you had your own food.
Yeah, I did.
Over here.
I did.
So, do you bring that every time you travel?
So what I normally do is, it depends on how long I'm gone, where I'm going. So I'll bring my own food for like the first couple of days, essentially, right?
Right.
We have really good catering at AW where I'm able to eat there, but then also I can take food to go, which I love. They bring all the food out, they leave it out, so like they won't just throw it away. So if you want to take it, you can, which is awesome. Because I hate wasting food. Right. And there's a bunch of chicken breast and rice, but dude, I'll take that. That's not gonna go to waste. Yeah. So I can take that for say a day or two. And then if I'm gone longer, then I will just go ahead and look forward, because thank goodness this day and age, everywhere's got like a meal prep place, like everywhere. Yeah. So then I'll just plan ahead. Go, oh, I'm gonna be in freaking Nashville. Oh, cool. Here's this place. I'm gonna run out of food probably. Hey, can I get these 10 minutes? It's always just about planning ahead.
Yes.
Same thing. Like I look ahead and I always go, okay, what hotel are we at? Where's the closest gym? Where do I have to be at for call time? And I just plan it all ahead, and it's easy peasy.
I ran track competitively in the USATF Masters division for a while. And anytime I traveled, I would call and I would go online, thankfully online I could do it, and I would find where's the either local high school track or a local college or something, and I'd just get in touch with the athletic department track person, and they'd always let me on the track.
Oh, that's awesome.
But, I mean, it's harder nowadays. This was maybe, 10 years ago when I was really competing in track a lot. But, you have to do what you have to do, and you got to find a place, right? The food. So, did you compete in bodybuilding too?
I did compete in bodybuilding.
How long and when was that?
So it was back in 2012 through 2015. It's funny, you talking about food too. When I was on prepping for a competition, so I can't just like eat, clean or healthy. Like I have to eat exactly.
Right.
And the only country, I've been in several countries all over the place for wrestling, that always throws away my food would be Mexico. And I get so mad about it. I was going on for so long, or so many times for a while there. And so what I start doing then, and then I'd make all my food, I would freeze it all, I'd put it in my check bag, and then, because I'd be there for multiple days. I know. And I'd be there for multiple days in like different places, and they never have fridges in the hotels in Mexico. I would go get a huge garbage bag, I'd fill it up with ice, put it in the bathtub, put on meals, and the struggles. I
had a job in Iceland. I had no idea if I was going to be able to eat over there, and it was a fitness-related job, but I'm like, I'm in a hotel. I have no idea what the hotel. I don't know. You can't trust anyone. You just can't. Even if they say, "Yeah, we'll feed you right," you can't trust.
You fail to plan. You plan to fail.
So I traveled 8 days worth of food to Iceland. Right? Like you do what you do. The same thing. You freeze it. You pack it as best you can, frozen in your check bag. There you go. And then you have to figure it out once you're there. Like you said, ice, because not everywhere has a freezer or. Yeah, like the hotel we're in now is awesome, and it's got a little fridge, but there's no like freezer to refreeze my freezer pack. So then I have to take them down to the hotel lobby. And I'm like, hey, can you freeze these for me?
Yeah.
But yeah,
such a pain. It's such a pain.
It is, but it's so at the end of the day, it's worth it, right? Because you feel better. You know what you're
absolutely,
you're not feeling
absolutely
sick from something.
Woke up feeling great. Like, all right, here we go. But here, go back to your question. So in 2011, I always flirted with the idea of doing a show, because I actually graduated high school 155 pounds, so I was not a big guy.
Wow.
And I got super into fitness, especially that summer. Going back to my sophomore teacher, he had summer school and he let me in the weight room. So I would jog to my high school that summer every single morning. He'd let me in the weight room, and that's how I fell in love with just training and just figured it out on my own. Yeah. And then I kept on floating around like, I want to do a bodybuilding show, but I was like, same thing. I had too much fear about it. I go, like half-assed, like, yeah, maybe I'll do it, maybe I'll do it. 2011, one of the worst years of my life as far as professionally and like health-wise. I separated my shoulder. I had a real bad freaking issue. My shoulder wouldn't go away. I wasn't training. I was super broke. I was depressed. It just was not my year at all. So as soon as I started to turn around, I was like, you know what? Lit a fire underneath me. I was like, I'm gonna get the best shape of my life. Matter of fact, I'm finally gonna do a bodybuilding show. So 2012, April of 2012, Fresno Classic, first ever bodybuilding show I did. I won the novice in my class in the open. I don't know, you'll get places, but when I saw the overall sheet, I was second place was point wise. I was like, hey, I did pretty good. So I was pretty stoked, and then I just fell in love with it. And then I did several shows after that, and I was gonna go for my pro card in 2015, and the company I was signed with at the time, Lucha Underground, started. We taped in seasons, wrestling's year round, but this place was like a TV show, and they were starting their season 2 weeks earlier, so I had to cancel the nationals I was going to do. I was like, no, I was so bummed about it. On a plus side, they paid me a bonus not to compete, which was cool because I was only going to spend money, But and then I was going to try to do another show because I was like, I was really prepping for it. to requalify. Then same thing kind of happened a few weeks later. Then a few weeks after that, there was a brand new show in LA on the NBC calendar, and it was the same day as Lucha Underground, but because of how we shot it, I was like, oh, because we shot it in LA too. But time-wise, I could do prejudging, come do my matches, go back for the night show. I was going to do all in one day.
Oh my gosh.
Have it documented, have a guy that come film it all. And then, since it was a new show, they didn't have enough contestants, so they pulled it off the calendar. And then I did Compete Forever again. I'm like, all right, well, now the wife has a couple times recently, and I tried to prep with her in 22, and then I tore my hamstring during the prep. So I have not been on the stage for many, many years. But I love it. I still live the lifestyle. A lot of people always say, like, oh, what's your show, man? What's your show? When I'm like in the gym, and I'm like, I don't have them, which is always a great compliment.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, and then I'm just like, I feel like adopted to the fitness industry. I'm really close friends with Flex Lewis. I go to Dragons Out in Vegas. I've been sponsored by Redcon now for 4.5 years or so.
Nice.
Matter of fact, the very first overall I won, very cool photo with Kai Green and Flex Willerby. And Kai Green was my favorite modern day bodybuilder. And even then when I was like first started training back in the high school days. So to have him give me the overall trophy, and then 8 years later we're doing content videos together, training together at Redcon was that was a super cool experience.
I can totally relate because the girl that I saw originally in my fitness career back in 1991, I saw her in the magazine just yesterday, Marla Duncan. And I fell in love with her look and everything. I was like, I want to do what she's doing. And I just got to wish her 60th happy birthday recently. Like she hired me to work on her clothing line when she had it back in the day. We got covers of magazines together. We did a lot of work together. And she's been out of the business for a long time, but we're still friends. So it's those are the relationships that you absolutely love and we get to make in this industry.
Yeah, because now Kai's no longer even with Redcon anymore, but I still see him a lot, I still talk to him a lot, we're still fine. Awesome. So like, yeah, it's so cool when you get to rub shoulders with that. Like, yeah, the same thing with Pops over there. I dropped CT Fletcher earlier, but I met him, years back, and like ever since we've been such a close friendship, and he's such a good dude. And it's so cool to be so enamored with all the fitness community. We're here, and I'm meeting you as well. We'll throw you in there. And that's what people are like, oh, are you ever going to go for your pro card? I'm like, if I got my pro card now, it would change zero.
I'm already a pro.
It would change zero for me. Nothing would change. Right. I would lose $400 for my pro card. Like that. Whatever it costs now. But
whatever it costs now to be a pro, right?
But I'm like, it doesn't change anything. And even then, like, because I do like nature competing, I'm like, oh, maybe, who knows? Maybe I'll do it again one day. But like, there's no
masters and super masters.
I know, right?
Men can go on and on and on.
One of the shows I went on, I'm like, yeah, there was a guy who was 70 who was competing. I was like, this is incredible. Yeah. So
you're here with Frontline.
Yep.
How long have you been working with Frontline?
Oh, geez. When we first reached out Frontline.
Frontline Alternative, HRT.
TRT.
They do work national. Like they're here in Texas, but they are available nationally.
Yes. No. Yeah. I don't live in Texas. No. I lived in California when I first signed up with them. Well, I'm from Chico, but I lived in Southern California.
Okay.
And then I live in Las Vegas. But I've been in Frontline. Oh my gosh.
A few years.
50.
50? No, I said a few.
Oh, I meant 50 years.
50 years. I'm not even 50.
Yeah, maybe it was 2020-ish, I think. Maybe it was the first time we linked up. Yeah, something like that. So it's been a few years, yeah.
They're good people.
So yeah, Andre's great, man. And
I like it because they're conservative with what they're doing. They're not trying to get people out here and be like ridiculous with your hormone. They just want people to feel good again and to live the best life that they can.
They've not been great with it, but they've made me even care and be more on top of my blood work than I've ever been before.
And that's so important. You got family you got to think of too, right? Like,
of course.
You can't have something going weird with your body.
You were also, we said we have a new he's not newborn anymore, right? But 8 months old. But they were also very helpful in us trying to conceive fertility-wise as well. So that was awesome as well. So like, yeah, it's been great, man. They're both phenomenal people. So I'm happy I got to come out here today, and I've loved every minute of being with them. So, and I'm glad, I'm glad the whole HRT thing has become more and more of a thing. I know a lot of people talk about, PEDs and like the taboo on it all, but like, as far as the TRT and HRT goes like that, I feel like that's more of a medicine than a performance enhancing drug. And I feel like if everybody else would have known about this 20 years ago, 30 years ago as well, as much as we know now, everybody else would have done it then too.
Right.
Like, and then you get all these top tier athletes. And I think even more at the age, you have so many more people who stay in their prime for much longer. And I feel like that's a big reason for it.
Right.
So,
right. Well, I know when I came to them in January of this year, 2024, we did my blood work, and I said, I know how I was running, sprinting, track, American Ninja Warrior stuff, everything in my late 40s. And then I started working at the barn more, and I said, but this last couple of years, I said, I just feel really drained. So we did my blood work, and everything was zero, like estrogen, progesterone, testosterone was almost, I think it was at a 5, which is super low for women, right? And it was just like, no wonder I'm feeling like, I'm always joyful, but my energy levels, and I just felt so tired. And so he's like, okay, there's really nothing there. Let's start working on getting you built up a little bit. So I'm definitely feeling better and more myself again. And I feel like my workouts have been better, and just have a little more zest again and I've been an athlete my entire life, since I can remember competing in something athletic. So I love being an athlete, and anyways, it's awesome to be here with
sure, and
be a part of it.
The fact that you've been an athlete your whole life too, not something like that, creates you, that's all you have to go by, but when you want to be able to still be that athlete, be that person that you love and enjoy all the time, because you just don't feel like you're the same person where you can't be or not be, you know what I mean? I have tons of injuries, so when I get injured, I can't do what I normally would do. I'm like, man, it kind of creates a little depression, a little foggy, oh man, so same thing. If your hormones are off, so you're shifting, then you don't have that energy, you don't have that drive, that focus, that ambition, it does take a good chunk of your quality of life away. We're like, oh man, this sucks, so the fact that they're there and you're able to do it and do it monitor it, do it healthy, makes a world of difference for you to, keep pushing on. Like I said too, and you still look great as well. Come on, see, it must be working. It must be working.
Some's working. So speaking of injuries, one of the sponsors I have here is this Stemregen. So I need to make sure you learn about them, because it's all about, the products are all about helping your body to produce and to release your own stem cells.
Oh, yeah?
So it's a fabulous line. It's global. They've done a tremendous amount of work within the biohacking industry.
I'm into it. I'm into it.
Yeah.
I've done...
And I have my own little testimony from using it already this year. So I'm super excited about this company, and they helped get the Monica Brant show here to American Fit Expo. Of course, they want to move into having a market in the bodybuilding fitness industry, because they're huge right now in the longevity and the biohacking and all of these other areas. And now they're like, okay, we're ready to tackle the athletic department, or and bring an athletic department to Stemregen. So definitely need to get you some to try.
Oh, for sure.
Put you back in touch with Dawn, who was here earlier.
I'm such a fan of taking everybody in recovery. You saw where you came strong. I was doing my stretching. I was doing a lot of little stuff before you guys got there, as far as the functional stuff, recovery wise. Whenever I have free time, if I'm not in the gym, I'm doing something for recovery, because I said try to leave, because then I had a masseuse come in my hotel to beat me up and work on my body, some recovery as well. So I'm trying to always do something for my body 24/7 almost, just to stay at the top as long as I possibly can.
Right.
And you talk about stem cells too. I've had stem cell therapy injections multiple times from different
places. So you know how expensive that is.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We've got something that is clinically proven. There's tons of research behind this. The owner has been studied stem cells up in Toronto, the university up there. So he's been a stem cell specialist for a very long time already. And now this is his baby. This is his company that he's put out. And it's all about helping your body to release and utilize your own stem cells.
But too, because the human body is an incredible thing by itself. The fact that so many different incredible things you can do. As well, just this, even my wife always put over, just like the way that the human body, when you're female, can create life and birth it and then come back and
right.
It is truly incredible.
God has given these bodies some remarkable, miraculous abilities And I think it's really awesome when we can dive in and learn how to use our body correctly and and utilize the gifts and talents that he's given us. And it sounds like you're doing exactly that.
I try to. It's like the one movie, I can't think of it, where he takes the pill. Because we use like 10% of our mind. They helped him use, oh my God, what is that movie? It's
Matrix?
amazing. No, not Matrix.
I'm like, take the pill, the red.
It's with oh my gosh. Anyways, but yeah, it helps you use the 100% of your brain, like then you can fully focus. But same thing, I'm trying to make the correlation is, I feel like for all that our bodies can do, I don't feel like we really use it.
No.
Or really even tap into everything that it's fully capable of doing for us too.
I agree. And I'm going to just go back in a weird space with you real quick. It's my belief that Adam, the very original man, had tremendous amount of talent and ability that we have no clue. But when sin happened, we lost a lot.
Sure.
And I think that someday we'll know what that is. And it's like, in the meantime, everyone's trying to get there because everyone knows there's more.
Sure.
Because inertly, we were all created the same, and we all know there's definitely more. And we're just, all of us strive, what is that more in our own areas of life, our own talents and gifts, dreams, and how they come in our goals. And so how cool. I love this opportunity to learn about your career and you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
One last question. Is your oldest son or any of your children interested in wrestling?
So I've taken my oldest son to the ring a few different times. We're actually for one Father's Day. I said, all right, what we're doing this weekend? I'm like, you're coming with me to the gym all weekend? I'm going to the ring all weekend. And he was sore as hell. He beat the hell. I bet it like beat him. Hold on now, people. Hold on. It's a little funny, but he enjoyed himself. And then afterwards, he goes.
That's the cage personality coming out.
Right. And
always on.
Afterwards, he goes. I go, well, how do you feel? He goes, I'm really sorry. He goes, but I'm a little disappointed. I go, for what? And he goes, I don't know. I just thought it would be I thought it'd be a little more ripped after. I go, well, this take 2 days.
30 more years.
but no, you know,
20 more years.
He's never been like super into wrestling. I think he's always thought it was cool I do it. And then I feel like he gets more into it when he has friends. Like we got that all the time. He doesn't live with me. My oldest son lives with his mom still in Chico. So many times he'd get friends to be like, there's no way your dad's Brian Cage. And I'd come to pick him up. Like, holy shit, it's Brian Cage. Like, so I feel like he gets more into it like when I was more into it. And now he's older, right? So now he's also like this year and last year, he usually comes to my house all summer. And last year he came just for a little bit, like a week and a half. And then this year, he was supposed to be a week and this month. And he goes, oh, you can just stay home, right? And I get it, right? You know, now he's 18 too. He's graduated. He wants to hang out with his friends. I'm like, well, I'm not going to make it. I'm like, you know, I mean, like, so.
There's always that kind of, and we probably all know, like that age where you're like, I just kind of need a little separation from my parents because I'm starting to get a little independent.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
But then, you know, you come back around like in your 20s.
I always thought for being a pro wrestler too, and I'm a big nerd too as far as video games and toys and collectibles. So like, I'm the cool dad. And I'm like, oh man, I'm just dad now. Like, you know what I mean?
Right now, but
I felt
it'll come back.
It'll come back. I think my daughter could be interested. Like she thinks it's cool that I'm wrestling. She likes to play figures and video games, but I mean, I'm still only 6, and my son, you know, he can't even talk yet. So my youngest one, but I've always been super. Because everyone's like, oh, you want your kids to be wrestlers? I go, I just want them to do whatever they want to do.
Right.
If they want nothing to do with wrestling, that doesn't hurt my feelings at all.
Right.
If they want to, if they have 110% support to be wrestling, but they do for whatever else they want to do as well. So I'm not picky in that regard. So
yeah. All right, Brian. Well, this has been really, really awesome talking to you. I feel like we could just sit here and chat forever, but I don't know how many people are going to want to continue watching us talking heads here forever. But okay, I know I said last question, but last question is, how can people find you?
I mean, if you don't know about me, you already follow me. Then what are you even doing? What are you even doing? Do you even have internet? We got 56K dial-up. What is this? Twitter, we got Brian Cage, GMSI, or GMSI Brian. Actually, I forgot my own Twitter handle now because I had to change it. But if you just put Brian Cage GMSI, it'll pop up. Brian Cage on Instagram and Facebook. ProWrestlingTees.com/Brian Cage for all your AEW and Brian Cage licensed merchandise. And yeah, I guess that's about it. And then, yeah, check out AEW.com for any event coming to your area because we're everywhere every week nonstop. Let me show you this cool handshake on the way out. Look right here. Boom, boom, boom. Roll that thumb up. Let go. Roll up to the top.
Love it.